I used to joke that water was for plants. That was my line. My whole identity, really. I don't drink water, I'd say proudly, like it made me tough. Coffee wakes me up. Soda keeps me going. Water, I don't need it. People laughed. I laughed. My wife didn't. She used to shake her head every morning when I poured myself a tall glass of soda with breakfast. "Harold, your body needs water," she'd say, pointing that little finger of hers like she was scolding a child. And I'd wave her off, sip my drink, and say the same foolish line I said for 40 years, "Water's boring." I'm lying here now with tubes in my arm and a machine doing what my kidneys can't anymore. And I'll tell you the truth. Nothing in this room is more boring than the sound of this machine keeping me alive. If boredom could have saved me, I'd give anything to taste it again. People think kidney failure is sudden. It isn't. It's slow, quiet, a lifetime of choices that finally cash in their chips. Mine started with the headaches. I blamed stress. Then the swelling in my ankles. I blamed old age. Then the fatigue. I blamed everything except myself. My doctor asked me once, kindly, not judging, "How much water do you drink a day?" I told him the truth. "None." He paused. That was the first warning. My wife asked me 100 times, "Harold, please drink a glass of water." I told her later. Later never came. She's gone now. Died 4 years ago, and it hits me sometimes. She tried harder to protect my body than I ever did for myself. That's a kind of love I didn't deserve back then. The funny thing is, I thought I was strong. I thought the rules didn't apply to me. When the younger guys at work drank energy drinks, I drank sodas. When they carried water bottles, I carried a big cup of iced coffee. When they took breaks, I kept working. I thought endurance was something you earned with stubbornness. But the body keeps score in ways pride doesn't understand. The day everything shifted, I was in my kitchen. The same kitchen where my wife used to stand with her arms crossed while I ignored every warning. I bent down to pick up a dropped spoon and felt a pain so sharp I thought someone had stabbed me. It wasn't dramatic, just a sudden ache deep and cold in my lower back. It didn't go away. It just stayed, like it was waiting, like it was saying, ready to listen. Yet I wasn't, not really. Not until the nausea came, waves that hit me every morning, every night. Still, I thought it was just age. Old men get tired, right? Old men lose appetite, right? Old men pee less, right? Right. I was wrong on every count. By the time my daughter forced me into the ER, my kidneys were already failing. The doctor asked about my habits. "Did you drink water?" "No." "For how long?" 40 years. He didn't laugh. He just nodded with this sad understanding doctors get when they've seen the story too many times. He said my kidneys had been screaming for help for decades. But I had mistaken their screams for just getting older. When they told me I'd be on dialysis for the rest of my life, I didn't argue. I didn't deny it. I didn't bargain. I just sat there, quietly staring at the glass of water they handed me. It tasted like regret. I drink water now. Funny, isn't it? Now that it can't save me. Now that my kidneys are too far gone. Now that the machine next to me is humming louder than my heartbeat. I drink it because it's all I can do. Like apologizing to someone who's already packed their bags and left. It doesn't fix anything, but you say it anyway. Sometimes I imagine my wife walking into this hospital room. She'd shake her head, sit beside me and whisper, "You're stubborn, Harold." And I'd whisper back, "I know, I know." If she asked me to drink that glass of water today, I'd drink every drop. Not because it would help, but because I finally understand she wasn't nagging. She was trying to save me. People think regrets come from big mistakes, affairs, money, betrayal. Sometimes it's smaller than that. Sometimes regret is a glass of water you refuse to drink, a warning you treated like a joke, a truth you were too proud to hear. My story isn't complicated. It isn't dramatic. It's just simple, painfully simple. I drank everything except what my body actually needed, and now I'm paying for it with every hour I spend hooked to this machine. If you're listening, especially if you're older than 50, please don't be like me. Drink water, not soda, not coffee, not flavored drinks that trick your brain. Just water. You don't feel kidneys failing until it's too late. They're loyal. They're quiet. They work until they collapse. And when they collapse, you don't get them back. I thought water was boring. But nothing is more boring than dying from something you could have prevented with a single glass a day. If I could go back, I'd drink water until my wife laughed at me. I'd drink it every morning, every afternoon, every night. I'd drink it like my life depended on it, because it did. That's all I have left to say. That and this. Don't wait until a machine replaces what a glass of water could have protected. Don't be stubborn. Don't be me. The room tilted. Sweat beaded on my forehead. But still I didn't panic. I told myself it was a pulled muscle. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I'd be fine. My daughter found me like that an hour later when she came by unannounced to check in, something she'd started doing more often after her mother died, her face filled with fear. "Dad, why didn't you call me?" I told her I didn't want to bother her. She shook her head, helped me up, and insisted we go to the emergency room. I argued. I said it wasn't necessary. I said I could rest. She said, "Dad, your skin looks gray." I hadn't noticed. She was right. The ER doctor asked questions I didn't want to answer. How much water do you drink? Do you feel thirsty often? Do you urinate normally? Do you drink caffeine? Do you drink soda? How much? When I answered honestly, his eyebrows twitched just slightly, not in judgment but in recognition. He had seen this before. Many times, probably. Men like me. Men who thought habit was harmless. Men who confused comfort with safety. They ran tests, blood work, scans, fluids, needles, machines buzzing and beeping. A nurse placed an IV in my arm, and I watched the clear liquid drip into me, water basically. Water through a tube, water forced into me because I had refused it in the simplest form. There was a sad poetry in that. The doctor came back eventually, sat on the edge of the bed, and told me my kidneys were failing. Not just struggling, failing. Years of dehydration had done what years of hard work and age had not. It had broken me. The only option now was dialysis 3 times a week for the rest of my life. I nodded, even though the words didn't feel real. I asked him if there was another way. He shook his head gently, the way doctors do when they're telling you a truth you don't want but deeply need to hear. For weeks after, I'd wake up in the middle of the night with tears on my pillow. Not from fear, not from pain, but from this overwhelming, crushing regret. I kept seeing my wife's face in my mind, her holding that glass of water, her pleading eyes, her soft voice saying, "Please drink this." And me, so smug, so sure of myself, pushing it away. I didn't realize until that moment that she wasn't asking me to drink water. She was asking me to live. Dialysis is a strange kind of existence. It's not life. It's not death. It's the space in between. You sit in a reclining chair while a machine cleans your blood, humming like an old refrigerator, steady and cold. You watch your body depend on something artificial because you refuse to take care of the real thing. You sit surrounded by others who made mistakes of their own, all of us, hoping for more time, less pain, another chance that none of us can fully earn anymore. And sometimes when the nurses change my IV bag, I find myself staring at that clear liquid. Water. Pure, ordinary water. The same thing I rejected every day for 40 years. The same thing my wife begged me to drink. The same thing that could have saved me. I drink water now. Not because it helps dialysis, does the work my kidneys no longer can, but because it feels like an apology. Too late, yes, but still honest. People think regrets come from big dramatic choices. Cheating, betrayal, dangerous risks. But sometimes regret comes from something so small, so mundane, so ordinary, that you don't realize its power until it destroys the life you once took for granted. My regret is a glass of water, or rather thousands of them. Thousands of moments I shrugged off. Thousands of warnings I ignored. Thousands of chances I wasted. If you're listening to this, if you're older, younger, doesn't matter, please hear me. Drink water. Drink it even if you think you don't need it. Drink it even if you prefer soda. Drink it even if you think you're fine. Drink it because your kidneys are loyal but not indestructible. Drink it because stubbornness is not strength. Drink it because by the time your body screams for help, it's too late. I used to say water was boring. Now I say nothing is more boring than dialysis. Nothing is more boring than lying in bed listening to a machine breathe for you. Nothing is more boring than regret. If I could go back, I'd drink that first glass my mother handed me. I'd drink the second. I'd drink the ones my wife put on the table. I'd drink them all. I'd give anything to walk into the kitchen right now, pour myself a simple glass of cold water, and drink it, not because it's too late, but because I finally understand its worth. But I can't go back. I can only talk now, and hope someone hears me while there's still time.